Welcome everybody. This is intended to be a welcome class or welcome video for 23401, which is all online this particular semester. What I have in front of you is what my class particularly looks like. If you're watching this in the future, it might say a different date on it. It might be spring. But if you're new to Brightspace, and some of you might be, especially if you're a transfer student or have switched majors or whatever, I want to walk you through a couple of minutes of what you can expect from Brightspace, and then also a little bit of an overview for the class. So first of all, you're going to see when you log in, you're going to see your particular class. You're going to see a listing of upcoming events here that'll change as I may change things in the schedule. You're also going to want to first then go up here to content. And that isn't necessarily intuitively as a first thing, first content. Especially if you're new to Brightspace, this is what takes you to the bulk of the class, right? Okay, so here's what you're going to see when you do that. Note that this is early, and so things may change as we move along, but this is your basic thought process as far as this class goes. You're going to see a major project information. We have 3 sequences in this particular class, so if you click on it, you'll see that another thing will open showing you sequence 1, sequence 2, sequence 3. Sequence 1 is a feasibility memo, and you'll be basically examining a website, taking a look at what you think needs to be changed, and then telling me in a memo why it's feasible for your ideas to be practical. We'll talk more about that later. Sequence 2, you'll be investigating a company of your choice. So be thinking about that now. Might be a company that you want to work for in the future. As an intern, maybe as a real job. So be thinking about a particular company that you'd like to know something about. You'll be investigating that company, putting together a little memo report about what the company entails, and you'll also be then producing a resume and a cover letter directed toward that company. And then when we get to sequence 3, you will be in a group, yay group, in which you'll be investigating AI, artificial intelligence. In fact, I will be putting you in groups starting in sequence 1. Those groups will not be for a grade in 1 and 2. Those groups will be what you'll be working with as far as peer reviews and other things that we are working with. So you'll get to know those people fairly well. You'll get to know their writing style, their strengths and weaknesses, so that by the time we get to sequence 3, and you are working in a group, you'll know where you guys fit together. Okay? So that's where you're going to find major project information. Let's get rid of that. Second thing you're going to see over here, we won't get rid of it, is IEEE formatting and research links. We'll talk more about that as we move along. This class is going to introduce you to a format called IEEE, which is electrical engineering. It's used widely in the engineering fields. We will be kind of dabbling into it so that by the time you get to the end of this class, you'll have a pretty good understanding of how it works, so that if you are in the engineering field, which a lot of you are, you'll be able to use it. Some of you are not in engineering fields, but I want you to be able to understand another format besides MLA APA, because even if you're going into professional writing or technical writing, knowing more formats is useful to you. Here is the weekly information stuff. Okay, so this is really important for you to open this one up and sort of take a look at it. This is where you're going to see one folder for each week. Okay, so this is where you're going to turn things in. This is where you're going to see what happened. So week 1, you're going to introduce yourself. And this is how you're going to do it in a discussion board. Whenever you see this particular icon, which is 2 little thought bubbles, that means it's a discussion board. Yeah, I know everybody loves discussion boards. Here's where you're going to be your major, where you live, a hobby of yours, or the strangest food you've ever eaten, the idea being to get to know each other fairly well. You're also going to be doing a second thing in week 1, and that would be obtaining your textbook and reading chapters 5 and 6, which are business messages, because we'll be starting with memos. There is a quiz, but it will be in week 2. Sometimes I'll do that. I'll have the reading one week and the quiz the next week, so that you have time to absorb and do that, and not to wait, of course. So I will be talking through sequence 1 at a later point in time, another video. But I wanted to kind of just give you an overview and get you started, welcome you, let you know I'm a real person. You can see your grades up here. You can see there's course tools, there's help. Speaking of help, over here on the left, there's one more category I haven't mentioned, and that's university policies down here. If you want to know anything about anything, here's where you're going to find out stuff about disability, diversity, military duty, academic misconduct, all those kinds of things that might be useful to you. Under student support up here at the top, I didn't mention that one either. At the moment, there's an FAQ that doesn't have a whole lot in it. As the course progresses and people ask questions, I will be answering those questions and putting those into the FAQ section so that you'll see lots of different ways that you can get success here as well. I may end up combining these two sections in one, but that's you'll still be able to find them fairly easily, and I think that should be intuitive for you. So with that, I just wanted to introduce myself. I look forward to meeting all of you, and that's all I have for now.